Welcome to Smoky Mountain Taco. Today I am stoked. We are going to be installing the Stinger Enlight10 on this third generation Tacoma. We are also going to be integrating in with a Stinger Heigh10. If you don't know what the Enlight10 is, it's essentially an underglow that can go underneath your vehicle. It gives it an awesome appearance at night. You will get noticed. Now I did have the Govee Underglow installed, and it's pretty cheap. But my passenger side light strip started going out. Now it's time to upgrade, and I'm glad I did, because the Govee Underglow lights essentially has 4 strips, one on the front which is connected to one on the side, and the one on the driver's side is connected to the one in the back. And I think that's part of the problem. With the Enlight10, it's completely different. You have 2 in the front, 2 in the back, 1 on each side, and then extension cables going around the wheel wells on each side. So if a cable goes out, it's easily replaceable. And the great thing is, with the Enlight10, if you have a Stinger Heigh10, you can integrate it into that. If you don't, that's okay. You can also install a switch with a relay and push a button and go back to your last memory. It has an integrated app that you can control from your phone. So you don't have to integrate it in with the Stinger Heigh10 or even install a switch with a relay. You could just use the app on the phone via Bluetooth to control the Enlight10. I want to be clear on this. Well, let's get this going and let's get it done. So using the Govee installation as a practice run, I found a way that we don't have to use screws in this install. Be sure to check out the full video. This is going to be interesting. You're going to need a U-shaped trim removal tool, scissors, needle nose pliers, wire crimpers, protective wire wrap, a heat protective wire wrap, Gorilla double-sided tape that supports 60 pounds, clear weatherproof double-sided Gorilla tape that supports 38 pounds, zip ties, wire connectors, heat shrink wire protectors, 18 gauge electrical wire, box cutter, a lighter or a butane lighter or a heat gun, and a creeper. Let's take a look at everything we're going to need and the Enlight10 and the extras that I got with Enlight. Take note of that Gorilla tape. Clear 38 pounds, heavy duty, weatherproof 60 pounds. There's some extension cables for the engine bay. That's the extension harness, and that hooks into the Stinger Heigh10, and there's the Enlight. And this creeper will come in very handy for this project. Okay, this is the overall layout of what we're going to be doing. Like I said before, 2 up front, 2 in the back. Alright, let's unbox this. Well, it does come with a cigarette lighter adapter for power. We're not going to be using that. That's pretty much everything, and then it comes with 2 extensions inside there. Okay, let's check this layout. So those extensions go around the wheel wells. Male connectors to the front, that's very important. So that's a side LED strip. There's the front LED light strips. And be sure to pause this as needed and come back to it if you need to go follow the layout. So that's extension cables to the controller. That's the extra extension cables for slack and the Bluetooth controller. That's the extension harness and the device that connects to the Stinger Heigh10. Alright, let's prepare the passenger side front LED light strip. Okay, the male end should go towards the engine bay, male to the front. Remember that rule. That is extremely important, otherwise you'll have to be taking it down and rewiring it all over again. Remember, male to the front. Alright, let's put the Gorilla tape on. This is the 60-pound heavy-duty Gorilla tape. Weatherproof. And it is double-sided. Alright, let's go to the front. Okay, so the male end must be up here in the engine bay. It's very important. Male to the front. So what you do is you drop it down through here. You can pull it out right there and reach out and then bring it out right over here. And you can tidy it up later. Right through there. And it drops straight down. There we go. And we'll let this hang. And under here, you should be able to get it. There it is. Make sure you got some slack. That male end will go up there to the top. And here, we'll actually connect right here. All right, let's mount this. So let's remove the backing from the Gorilla Tape. All right, we'll take this nice and slow, no rush. All right, make sure it's on there very firm. And trust me, this isn't going to come off. I did the same thing with the Govee Underglow. Been through rain, snow, sleet, mud, hell. I'll be all right. So let's put some zip ties around this and secure the excess cable. Okay, so secure the strip with clear weatherproof 38-pound Gorilla Tape in about 4 places. One on the ends, one on the other end, and 2 in the middle, and anywhere you think it might be unstable. This is weatherproof. All right, let's connect this LED strip to the wheel well extension. We're going to have to jack this thing up first. Or let's take this wheel off of this wheel dolly. For the front wheel wells, we want to place the extension inside a protective wrap I found from Harbor Freight. It's pretty simple. It splits in the middle there and you just push the wire through. All right, let's get this laid out. We're going to push it through. We're going to connect it to the strip up front. All right, we're connected. Right, now we're going to take this and push it around the wheel well. So you're going to take that off with a U-shaped trim removal tool. Yeah, barely, just put it in there and snap off. Alright, just take it around. And we'll pull it out the other side. And the protective wire wrap here that we have around this cable, that's good for the front, but it's not going to be good enough for around the exhaust. I've got something special planned for it. So be sure and stay tuned. Alright, we'll take that and push it out towards the side so our side strip can get access to it. Let's snap this back down, and we'll zip tie this up here front for this excess wire. I had to jimmy rig some zip ties here to make an extra long one. All right, let's put the wheel back on. Let's prep the Gorilla Tape for the passenger side LED light strip. Nail in towards the front. Alright, we're going to install the passenger side LED. Let's take it nice and slow. And you'll have to judge based on whatever vehicle you put this on about where you should start it at. On my Tacoma, I kind of knew where from the Govee Underglow, so I started off there and essentially measured it based on the light where the strips, somewhere in the middle. But you want it both on the same sides. Being sure to press firmly down on the entire thing. And take your time, no rush. You don't want to mess this up and have your strip dragging down the road. Now, like I said, this Gorilla Tape does work wonders. I've been through sleet, mud, snow, you name it, heavy water, and they never came off. Now let's put our clear Gorilla Tape on. And I even it out. Every 1.5 feet seems to be okay. And of course, definitely on the ends. You can see there I had to go over that steel bar for my side steps. So I'm going to give it some extra support around there. Alrighty, now connect the side strip to the front extension, and then we'll zip tie the excess. Alright, that's what it looks like. Just mounted it to the side step. Alright, now we're going to prep the extension cable for the passenger side rear. We need the heat-resistant wire protection. I picked it up at Harbor Freight, and I'll be sure to put a link down in the description for this. But we are going to fish the extension cable through this. And I tried using smaller ones, but my fish just wouldn't go through it, so I had to use the big one. And we'll just put electrical tape on the end just to give it some extra protection. And once this is through, you want to use a butane lighter or a heat gun, something like that, to shrink it, and then we'll put electrical tape on the ends. All right, it's ready. All right, let's prepare the passenger side rear strip. All right, take off the back and put on the Gorilla Tape. Press firmly down. All right, let's go ahead and place the rear on first. Take your time, make sure it's firmly down, and then we'll put the clear weather strip Gorilla Tape on it. Yep, place it on the ends first. About every inch, inch and a half, but making sure those ends are both locked down. All right, we're going to fish this above the spare tire, and we're going to zip tie it in various places as we push it through. But you can see where I'm doing it there. And we're going to connect the passenger side extension cable with the side strip. Right, zip tie the excess back here. Alright, you can see the extension cable sticking out right there, ready to be connected to the side strip. So let's connect these two cables up. Then we'll tidy up our wires. Alright, let's secure that with a zip tie. Right, do the same thing for the other side, except for the other side you won't have to use the heat protective wire wrap. Alright, let's disconnect the auxiliary wiring tray. It keeps our wiring organized. Be sure to check out that video for this install. Keeps everything nice and organized. Alright, we'll remove the auxiliary side bolts over there and disconnect it. Alright, now we're going to connect the extensions into the engine bay for extra slack, because you can never have enough wiring. And remember, male into the front. Now let's get the other side. Let's wire it through the grill. We're going to start over here on the passenger side and wire it through. And I want to put it behind that prop rod right there, because we do have head struts and we're never going to use that. That's a great place to put some wiring. And let's keep pushing through. And we're going to take it through the headlight over here and come around the corner. Alright, let's zip tie this and secure it down. Alright, we're going to add some protective wire wrapping around this, and we're going to wire it through the headlights and add a zip tie to this. It helps secure it, keep it in line. Keep things in order. Now we're going to remove the side panel here, and we're going to stuff this down in here. Get some good wire organization over here. This side panel over here on the Tacoma on both sides is a great place to put wiring. I have ditch wire lots in there, all the excess wiring in there. Keeps it out of the way, keeps it nice, neat, and organized. Let zip tie it down. Compress it. Now look how nice, neat, and organized that is. Keeps it out of the way. Place our cover. Like I said, this is a great place to store excess wiring if you've got any auxiliary wiring. Just snaps right back on. Alright, so let's prepare the Bluetooth controller. Now, after we install the Bluetooth controller, you could stop right there. And you don't have to hook it up to Stinger Heigh10 or a switch or a relay or anything like that. If you didn't want to, you could just use the phone. Alright, we're wiring up the power to the Bluetooth controller. This is 18 gauge wire. Let's get some heat shrink wrap on there. And I'm doing this for one reason, because I want to hook it into my auxiliary organizer that I've got. Be sure to check out that video. Let's crimp it down. Let's get the other side. Alright, negative side done. Let's do the positive side. And these are just some wire connectors I picked up at O'Reilly's. Let's get the other side. Rip it down. Alright, let's secure it with some electrical tape. Make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Can never be too safe. Okay, after going to the engine bay, cut the excess that you don't need. It's always better to have more wire than not. Alright, let's prep the wiring for the auxiliary controller. We got positive and negative. Let's just get it all set up on both ends, crimp it down. All right, cut two wires about 6 inches for the auxiliary controller. So if you haven't seen my video for the auxiliary controller, go check it out, because these two will actually connect inside the box, and I'll have it loop through so I can easily disconnect it on the bottom side. So that's what I'm doing here. And you'll see how it connects here in a moment. Almost there. Make one for positive the wire the same way that you just did for the negative. Alright, so you can see how we're going to connect it. We keep all the negatives together and all the positives together here. And for the Enlight10, it will take a 5 amp fuse that we'll put in later on in the video. Alright, now let's put in our negative. So we just screw it in the appropriate place. We'll put the wire down through so we can connect it on the other side. Alright, let's connect the LEDs to the Bluetooth controller. Alright, connect the power to the auxiliary controller from the Bluetooth controller. Let's remove the trim from inside the cab. There's a little lock screw back where you just pull out. There you go. This is 10mm bolts. We're just going to take off the dash so we can get to the Stinger Heigh10 and fish some wires through. And I always forget this one for some reason. Alright, let's take a dash off. It just pops out. Alright, now let's disconnect some of these switches, give us some extra room. Alright, let's remove the Stinger Heigh10 head here. There'll be 2 wires in the back, just pop them off. And then these are 4 10mm bolts we'll need to remove. We'll just take that out and place it on the gear shift nut. Okay, now it's time to fish. And this is the extension harness. And I had to buy this extra, and we want to confirm the correct direction here, going from the hood into the cab. So you can see on the directions how it needs to be laid out. And we're going to fish that through the firewall. Now, I did have to buy this extra. So be aware of that. You may or may not need it. Now you could have easily put the Bluetooth controller inside the cab, but you would have had to run the 2 cables going into the cab. I figured it was easier to use 1 wire than 2. So, all right, we got it fished through. And now let's wire it through over to where the Stinger Heigh10 will be. Go. All right, now we're going to connect the Stinger Heigh10. Now, I also had to buy this extra as well, but I definitely wanted to be able to connect it to the Stinger Heigh10. I didn't want to deal with switches or relays, and it just makes it easier. So this plugs into the Sirius XM port, and on my Stinger Heigh10, I decided not to get Sirius XM. I never listen to it, never use it, so we don't have to worry about wiring it up. But the other end of this module, you can plug it in if you have the Sirius XM module. But this will plug into where the Sirius XM module goes into, right back there in the back. All right, let's put the Stinger Heigh10 back in. And that right there is what would plug into the Sirius XM module. All right, let's put the head unit back in. Alright, snapping the head unit back in. And let's plug in our switches. And put in the bottom part of our dash back in. There we go. Now we connect the extension harness to the Bluetooth controller up in the engine bay. Now let's organize these wires. It's always better to have extra wire than not. Well, there's some electrical wires down here. We're just going to attach the Bluetooth controller to it. You can see it down there. Just zip tie right to it. Now let's organize the rest of these wires underneath here. Zip tie them all together. Make it nice and neat. Alright, that's going to need a 5-amp fuse. We'll put that in later. Let's mount our auxiliary controller back in here. This is an ISSYAUTO plate we've got here. It's 2 Allen bolts on the side. And let's say I have 5-amp fuse. Put a cover back on. Alright, time to set up the Stinger Heigh10. Click Settings, click System Settings, click Installer Settings, and put in 0052. Alright, RGB light control should be on. And there it is. You can see there's an on button. This allows you to set certain colors to your likings, but you get more features out of the app. Let's turn that off. Now let's put our trim back in. Alright, let's talk the app. You can download it via that QR code there. Follow the prompts. Definitely want to allow that. You can see that's very similar to the screen on the Stinger Heigh10, but you get these different modes right here. So you can change it from different patterns and speeds. And you can even customize it there on DIY. Check this out. Let me know what you think about the Enlight10 down in the comments below. And we'll see you next time.